What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. Today is a wet day, so we got rained out of the original A and B plans. So luckily we got a call in today to go push a few small trees over. So we are going to take Orville, the Ford F-750, hook up to the old Econoline trailer, and we're going to load up the Excavator, which doesn't have a bucket yet, but it will have our 3-foot bucket on it, because where we are going to be pushing these trees over is in preparation for an outbuilding or a shed. So we may end up doing a little bit of grading work while we're there. I want to be prepared with the right bucket, and really I just don't use the 2-foot bucket much anymore. For one reason, it has these dumb little crush pins in it, and when you're digging and if you get into rock or you're trying to pop a stump out, it's bad to break those, and I just haven't had time to replace those little pins with grade 8 bolts. That'll be a project for another day. So let's get hooked up to the trailer and load this excavator. We are loaded, hooked up. Let's head up to the job. Here we go. All right, let's see where I want to go in here. I'm just gonna go straight up this bank, I suppose. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's getting firm red dirt. See if I'm gonna slide. No, that's pretty firm. Keep on going, baby. Let's go find some trees to push down. Let's make our way through the woods here. Shut my door. Hopefully you guys can see good. Gaining access to the property is always the first step. Tally-ho! I don't know if I'm going to end up taking these saplings out for them or what. Makes a quick little pass through the forest. Can't see the forest through the trees, folks. Old dead rotten log. I'm just skimming the ground with my blade just to lay all these little saplings over. We'll find us a path through here in a minute. It's almost like a puzzle you got to work your way through without tearing down trees that don't want to be tore down. I bet I can squeeze right through here. saplings out, so I'm gonna end up killing them anyway. You gotta be careful when you're pulling trees back towards you like that. They'll come right in the cab. So just be ready for it more or less. Little pine saplings, they don't have much of a root system. You can just rake the ground with your tines and teeth. Tines being those two pieces on my thumb. Kind of dress those piles as you go. See, that's all clearing is, just pulling stuff out and piling it. We'll have some good land cleared up here in a minute. Another way we can do is just put this blade down real close to the ground, start plowing our way along. If you got a bulldozer big enough, you can do full-size trees about like that. Now that they're laid that way, I'll sweep from one side to the other, line those trees up, and then you can grab them, and then swing real quick, and they'll pop right out. There's a young couple working for up here, so we're giving them a good deal. Friends of ours. That's not a root that I want to take out. We'll put it back in a second. Them roots right along the top, they just get in the way of everything. We'll just tote this stuff with us as we go. Rained pretty good all night last night, so soaked in really good. Makes pulling trees a little bit easier. Of course, these are hardly trees. See if I can rake these away from me. Some good sized trees to take down here. I'm gonna try to get me a good little drop zone cleared. I got a couple of bigger trees to get down. Rake these about out. That one didn't want to do it though, did he? Keep my little pile nice and neat. So just in case I have to get the saw to cut some of these up, I want to keep this area fairly clean. Keep it cleaned up, as it were. Try to drop all those back through here. See how clean that ground comes? Now that's gonna be a heavy load, so I'm gonna have to kind of walk my way along here. Make us a good little drop zone, shall we? So I got 2 trunks right here connected into one bottom, so I'm going to probably have a little bit of difficulty pushing that one down. Well, I thought I would. Now see, the reason that I pulled that one first, when I go to pull this tree's root ball up, if I went to push it first, it could have pulled up on this side of that trunk and caused that tree to fall in a way that could have went toward the house. So not only do you have to focus on the trees you're pushing right now, you got to think about the trees that that tree is going to hit and the trees that those are going to hit. Always plan way ahead if you can. See if we can just push this one over sideways maybe. This excavator does not have a whole lot of sideways push, so this tree's probably going to put up a fight. Yeah, that's a heck of a root right there. Let me work this guy over and then I'll get you guys back in on it. Actually, I believe I can break this one leg off at a time. You gotta watch that top and make sure it don't break and come back towards you. Oh yeah, this tree's rotten. Old maple. I think that's what it is. We'll have some room in a minute, won't we? Now just a quick note, I'm digging this dirt and I try to pile dirt right in front of me, so once I push the tree and the stump out, I can just use my blade right in front of me to push dirt right back into the hole. Just try to keep it as efficient as possible. Yeah, that sucker, that wasn't a healthy tree anyway, was it? We can get it going. It's wanting to wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now I'm just going to kind of start working my way up under that stump, which is pretty healthy. See me ripping that though? That's going to rip up the side of that tree, so I've got to watch and make sure that tree doesn't try to swing toward my house. Let's see if I just break him. Yeah, that was a pretty unhealthy tree. I'm gonna get this stump on out now. There's part of the stump. Stuck. There's another part. See if we can push him away from us. See, that tree was hollow. I'm gonna tell you, the tree itself may have been weak, but the stump is solid. Oh, stubborn little stump right there. All that for that thing. That's about typical though. Let's see if there's some more to that stump. Oh yeah. A little bit more. What we got in here? That bell's not going back here. The only reason that I'm having to dig this one out is to make my drop zone clear. It's aggravating. Drop a tree or a bunch of trees into a spot that you can't get in and cut if you have to. In which case, more than likely, I'm not going to have to cut, but somebody will at some point. this tree up into a couple of sections, and it'll be easier to stash away. Makes a little pile right there too. Fluff the ground, try to make it to where it doesn't hold water as bad. Now let's go after a little bit bigger trees. Can't see it, but I've got a tree in my grasp right there. Hello, leaves. Now let's see if I can just push this little white pine over here. Oh, yeah. See how easy that fell down? It's because I didn't have any trees anywhere ahead of it to stop it. Now what we want to do is go up here, break the top out. It does not take a big machine to break a white pine. See what I mean? And you just push that top on up there, and you can grab this section, pull it and the stump and everything, drive on ahead here. That's a nice little organized pile. Grab a bunch of this stuff up. Getting it stacked up real high, but now see this pine right here is hung on this other tree, so just in case I want to, or they decide they want me to push this pile on down, I unhooked that tree from this side of that, because once it's got weight on it, it's going to be a lot harder to push the whole pile if I don't keep it neat and tidy. Let's get us a couple more. Right here in front of us, we just got a handful of little guys. We're just gonna go ahead and pop them out. So I broke my rule right there. I try to get on the left side here, hook them and push them over. That's gonna break the stump, which is okay. But if you do that, when you come over here and you lay your stem down, it doesn't lay on top of your bucket. Even small trees. Work from left to right, swing, drop. Now if they're close enough together and small enough, you can just go ahead and grab a couple of them, lay them down, grab the whole pile, and you're ready to tote it over to the big pile. Let's jump out here and assess the situation. Oh yeah, I think I got room back here. Right there's the septic clean out. The tank is in here. That's what I want to do. Try to come out through here, push that small white pine just down that way, or between those two. It'll probably get hung. This one I want to take out. Almost want to go ahead and drop that one. I definitely want this one, that one, and that one. I'm gonna come through here, push that one down into that drop zone, drag it out. Then I can get behind this one, push it that way, drag it out. That one that way, and then that one, just push it over. I think I have a plan. Hopefully we don't get any of them hung. Hitting trees with the machine on the way, because I could knock them over and into the house they could go. So let's see. Stumping everything out without breaking the tree off. You've got to maintain control of them. Keep your pressure on that tree. Don't ever take your pressure off until it's well over 45 degrees or more than halfway to the ground. Now I'm grabbing the left side of that stump to start it. Now watch that tree move toward the left. See that? That, if it was not hung up there, could potentially swing that tree around if that stump was hung in tight enough. So you want to make sure that stump is loose, because if you drop that tree close to a building or say like a house here, you don't want to just grab it and yank on it, because a big enough machine would spin that tree around and potentially hit something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him up to me. I'm going to walk out here closer to the end. Now I know about how tall that tree was. If you're not sure, just cut these. Now I'm just going to pinch it, and I'm watching that top as I pinch it. See it swinging around? Now see, I know I've worked around trees quite a bit. I can gauge this, but if you're new, don't just snap that top, because again, if you're having to swing it toward the house, you very well could sling it right into the side of it. See if I can break this one more time. Now the more pressure it takes to break them, the more they'll spring. So just be prepared for it. Now you can swing that around like that. And just grab both stems here, lift him up, set it over here to the side. Now I'm going to run on over there and scoot this bundle down there with the big brush pile that we already started. And when you're clearing land, this is just a good, efficient little way to do it. Doesn't mean it's the best way or it's perfect. I'm just telling you guys kind of the fundamentals. Now this is a 20,000 pound machine, and you'll see I grab every bit of this tree at one time and just tote it with me. stem. It ain't from that tree, but I'm gonna get it too. Tote every bit of this with you. Go as far as you can. Now see, if you got somebody running a dozer with a blade or root rake, they could be pushing this stuff way down through there while you're pulling trees. Very efficient. Let's see now. We were going to do that one back up this way. Just make sure everybody knows that you do not want to put the full weight of this machine on a septic tank. That is not good. Just going to roll video right here all the way. See, this is all undisturbed ground right here. I can tell this is old leaf bedding and such. So I can just drive on that without too much concern of damaging the septic tank. Now you see, this tree's got a nice little drop zone. So what I'm going to do is position myself directly behind it. Without getting on that septic tank. I'm kind of crab walking my way around in here. So that's a good thing too about these excavators where the boom will swing left or right. You don't have to have the whole machine directly behind it. Let's see if we can just push on this white pine and get him down without getting hung. Now while you're learning this stuff, don't get into too big of a hurry. Yeah, see that whole root ball's moving. It's not giving up the good fight. So we're gonna have to do a little diggy dig. Now if I just had all kinds of room, I would be digging different. Instead of pulling directly away from that tree, I'd be digging perpendicular to the way I'm digging right now. I'll break these top roots. Now see, I broke these roots to weaken that side of the tree. If I dug on the left side, it would weaken the other side and it would tend to want the tree to pull right. So let's reach a little higher on the tree this time and bite into it with our teeth. Now I glance from, I'm looking at the top of the tree when I start pushing, and I'll glance from the top of the tree back down toward the bottom, because that bottom indicates that the root ball is turning loose and I can see the ground how it's pushing. Now once it starts going the way you want it to, I'm going to back out just a little bit. Since I didn't cut the roots on the far side of the tree, they'll hold it from coming back too far as long as you don't let it come back to you too quick. Now in one smooth motion, push that bucket straight out from you. See how I'm pulling left? You can count on that because these roots right here were still holding the tree. And that is how I haul a tree with an excavator. That was not a big tree. You could handle a lot bigger tree with this excavator. But the bigger the tree is in comparison to your machine, the more you gotta work with the tree and the roots and everything. Just a bunch of useless information. Hopefully it'll help somebody. Let's see if we can grab this root ball, lift up the tree, and just swing it out of our way a little bit. You could grab it here, but it puts too much, you know, you can squeeze that tree and move it at the same time and drive, and away you'll go. Now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave all those little limbs attached, except this one because it's going to slap the cab. I'm going to go up here and break this top out. These things probably break loose. Just to get them out of the way. ditch right here. Like you see me lift the front of the machine up. Now see, I dropped this tree on the right side of this standing tree, so it's going to be harder to break that top. Harder, not impossible. I got to move it away from that tree and squeeze. Pull this top back in toward us. Stuff it back here on the pile. Now, if I was going to be hauling all this away, I would be having to take these trees down a little bit, just a tad bit differently. Now, I can't break that whole trunk, I don't think. So what I'm going to do now is slowly work this tree toward me. I twisted it right toward the wrong side of that tree. See, it's hanging on it. So I'm just going to scoot it this way and I'll just push it from the stump end. There's this little bank here. Get back on the grade that it was. Let's just squeeze by this big boy. Pull that whole tree over toward us without rolling the stump into us. Maybe, possibly. I might could have broke that tree again, but I don't know. Let's see if we can break it. Got that little ditch, I might as well use it. Prop it up and wiggle him around, maybe it'll break free. So that excavator's pretty tough. Fold this thing up like a present. Nice little present. Instead of having to jump that ditch twice, I'll get behind this pine tree, push it way up through there, and then I can do all my dragging from the other side. That's my plan, I think. Now this tree is going to get hung up in that top, I think, maybe. Let's see if I can just push it without. Let's see what this root ball is going to do. I'm going to watch that top, make sure it don't break out coming back toward me. Yeah, see, it's going to hang in that oak. That's coming. I'm going to have to push it more to the left, which means I'm going to have to break these roots. These roots right here, weaken this side of the tree, and hopefully I can just swing. See that? Right there. Did you see that? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's twisting that whole tree when I grabbed that root. So that root was doing a lot of support. See if we can persuade it that way now. Yeah, just about. I can just about persuade it. I think I need to just get one more root broken here, because there's a root somewhere around there holding him. Once you break those top running roots, there's not a lot supporting that tree on that side. Let's see if he'll go now. I'm going to swing my boom, get a little bit better directional push. You guys can't see it, unfortunately, but that sucker is hung in an oak up above it. Let's see if he'll come down now. Right in the drop zone. Now if that tree were bigger, I would have went ahead and moved the previous tree out of the way, because I would have to get in there with a chainsaw, and I don't like having my legs between logs that are that close and cutting another tree, because a shift of weight could be bad. Yeah, I can lift that tree and break it. See if I can get another break going here. White pine. Easiest tree, I think it's the easiest tree to break in my area, as far as trees that are in abundance. That's pretty heavy right there for this machine. Now if you had like a 30,000 pound machine, this would be a cakewalk. You could have pushed and controlled every one of these trees. Well, that top's wanting to break again, isn't it? Maybe I did that and I just don't remember it now. Short memory. Let's just push. Push, 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 push. Oh, the pollen coming out of them trees. Woo. Well, I might end up taking that little tree down. I've already scuffed it, and I think they might have been hoping that I could clear on back. Come here, you. Jive turkey. Shake some of that dirt off. Another thing you can do is squeeze that root ball right like that, and it'll help get that dirt to come loose. Let's go on up here. Blade. That top of that thumb, grab part of that pile, and I'm going to use my blade to help it along. Hello. Well, got hung up on something. I'm just moving this pile down just a scotch. Give them a little bit more room to position their shed when it comes in. See if there's anything else we want to take down. I'm going to go ahead and dress this little bank here. to our hole. Leave it piled high so I can track it in. And we don't end up with a low spot. I hope y'all are having a great day. I'd say if you're in this business and you're watching this during the day, you probably got rained out. But you know, that's the time of year it is. Do not let yourselves get complacent working around houses. You can swing this boom into a house in a second. I'll show you guys the difference in a little oak, pushing it over, and pushing a pine tree over. Good thing is oaks don't snap off as easy. See, that sucker ain't even thinking about it. Let's cut his roots loose and push him. Or if I just cut them loose with the tines, just kind of saw them loose. Oh, that guy must have a taproot, a very healthy one. Don't be afraid to tear the ground up when you guys are doing this. Work from the top. Focus on the top of your tree, getting it down. You can always put your dirt back. See if it'll just move. Nope. I know where the root is though. You bump that ground, you can see the ground pull up a little bit more. That is okay. That is okay. Now let's go break this little oak up. All are good. I'll get back with you guys. Now that that's tracked in, I'm not going to make the mistake of pressing down right there to spin my tracks, because again, there is a septic tank there. Normally, what all y'all see get done today, I would charge on like a 1 day minimum, whatever your 1 day minimum charge is. Most of the time you give somebody a minimum charge, then they'll just go ahead and want you to work the full day. That being said, there's no reason that you can't do a half-day charge. Just personally, we get so many calls, we weed out the half days typically if it's not friends. We'll just take the jobs that are willing to do the one day. Just kind of making me a little pile here. Take this little pile right over here where I know they're probably not going to be working. And so the way those are laying, I can sit on the other side of that pile and just transfer it by shuttle. Oh, thing ain't as rotten as I thought it was. You guys be sure to comment below if you like for me to the commentary, or if you prefer me just to run the machine and let you learn by observation. Most people like the commentary, some people don't. This last segment of the video, I'll try not to talk too much to give the people who don't like it a break. Drop him right there. There's a dead stem. We're going to just knock it down. Don't have to worry about kids getting out here and playing around it. Ooh, the pollen. Ooh, the pollen. Ooh. Shit. Stuff will kill me. While we're watching, let me just say hello to my friend John's little boy Grant. They say they watch us every evening. Unfortunately, I had to cut back on my video, but I've been thinking about you, little buddy. Solidate. Sapling, because it's going to grow to be a big tree, and I'm afraid that it will be a problem for their house. So there you go. Put my blade down because that little stuff's hanging in there. Let me get the rest of these little bitty things up and I'll check back in. Now we got all of the bigger saplings and little trees down. That's a pretty good little area cleared out. The next agenda, one of my favorites, we're going to sweep the floor. Use the teeth on the bucket. All I've got to do is start raking everything back toward me, and I'm actually going to get into the dirt a little bit on this one to get any top running roots and just as much ground debris as I can. Leave them a nice smooth area for them to get that little outbuilding up on some blocks. Out. Let's knock it into a little bit more of a time-lapse mode, because this is pretty obvious what I'm going to be doing. nice little bits of old pot right there. Last bits of grubbage here. I did not have to get every bit of the roots on this one. So what they're going to do is use concrete block or cinder block to set this building on, so the ground does not have to be absolutely perfectly clean anyway. You can see over here the size of the pile of brush we ended up with just on this little bit of cleanup. What I'm going to do is pull on over here, push this pile over. Their property goes way down in there. Push this pile over to where it's not quite so high and obvious. Move that dirt. Probably just put all the grubbage over here somewhere. Then we'll go just smooth out the ground and call it good. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'll just get you down on the blade a little bit more. Way to do this, in my opinion, once you set your blade and it's digging into the dirt, try to dig in deep enough where you can just push straight ahead without adjusting up and down, and that way you can get your nice little smooth cut. Nice and easy. Just cut the rough that we've made. Back it in. Well, let's make a blue million trips back and forth. Ladies and gents, back there is not really going to be used, so I didn't have to dress it, but this area to the left dressed out quite nicely. Let's go load this thing up and go find something else to work on.